What's the good word, Josh? Your boy DKB here. So we're back with another scouting breakdown of our second fresh face on our 2023 New York Jets practice squad. This time we have a bit of a tweener, a hybrid player in Marcelino McCrary-Ball out of Indiana. Pretty interesting dude diving into him, especially considering this isn't a recent, in terms of this year, undrafted free agent. This was a guy that actually went undrafted a year ago. So he's actually been able to spend a year with the 49ers developing and trying to turn into a 53-man roster player. And obviously that hasn't been done yet, but there still has been quite a bit to like about him. Of course, fits that mold of the Robert Saleh linebacker, undersized, very quick. And so we'll dive into it. So looking at a 6 foot, 212 pound DB slash linebacker here. We're just going to go ahead and just default to calling him a hybrid. Had a few ACL injuries in his history, or I shouldn't say a few. He had an ACL injury in his recent history. He did have another season-ending injury, I want to say his freshman year in Indiana, if not his sophomore year. Couldn't figure out what that was related to, but he has shown to be a playmaker for a guy that is a tweener. Literally plays a ton of defensive back roles as a safety, but also has been utilized as a linebacker. He's made 4 interceptions, 5.5 sacks, 16.5 tackles for loss, 16 pass deflections over his career. Keep in mind he's lost 2 seasons, 2 injuries, and so it's been impressive, right? Fits that Joe Douglas mindset of a guy that's been a former team captain. You love the versatility that he's going to be able to bring, having played a safety coverage assignment, right? And then from a linebacker perspective, being able to go out there, attack the run, get into the backfield to a certain degree. They love to be able to use him in kind of, blitz packages, coming off the edges, different things of that nature. So 38 game starter, 53 games overall in his career. He's ended up on Feldman's freak list twice. I've seen some crazy numbers about what he's deadlifting and different things of that nature, but I did find it interesting that even though he had a pretty solid RAS score, he's not an uber elite guy. I think he ran a 4.51 40 it was, but it was said that he's clocked 22.38 miles per hour in the GPS, somewhere in that area. So I found that particularly interesting. But there was also a stint last year, and I want to say it was a preseason game against the Packers where the 49ers were able to go out there and beat them. Had 3 interceptions, pretty strong defensive performance. Nick Bosa went out of his way to call out our guy McCrary-Ball here. Didn't really know who he was, but came away very, very impressed. And so for a guy of Nick Bosa's caliber, that's definitely noteworthy. So looking at some of the things that Marcelino here will bring to the New York Jets, aggressive in run support. So any scouting report that you're going to see on this guy is going to mention how physical, how aggressive he is, kind of a wrecking ball of sorts, right? Bull in a china shop, doesn't really care much about what he's damaging on his own body so much as what he can do to the opposing team. Finds his way to the ball, plenty of opportunities where run plays might not have been going to him, pass plays targeted on the other side of the field, and you see him trying to run his way into at least being able to make a play if one of his fellow team members can't. Strong hands, a lot of power behind them, solid blitz ability, as mentioned. That was a general part of his role in that hybrid safety linebacker position. Dominates the middle of the field. So part of that physicality was if he wasn't going out there to attack the ball carrier in the backfield, if people were coming across the middle, they're wanting to dance a lot. They're thinking they're shifty, different things of that nature. he's not a reactive guy so much as he wants to go and force the action. And I love those type of defenders because more often than not, you see that being the Achilles heel for guys that want to be shifty. They're waiting for a false step, miscalculation. Maybe a guy that's just not athletically gifted as they are, and look to take advantage of that. And guys that force the action generally can get there and make a play look a lot less damaging than it should be. So love that ability. Solid angles overall for when he's able to go out there and be in coverage assignments, or if he is a little bit late to react to a particular play. He's generally disciplined as a guy that's used to handling multiple assignments. And his physicality alone, especially as an undersized guy, does allow him to line up against the bigger tight ends and wide receivers, even if it's nothing more than just to try to get a quick jam up front to disrupt some timing, or if he's going out there versus run assignments, and that's backed up by the strength that he shows, not only on film, but of course what he would have done performance-wise, 23 bench press reps, again, the squat, different things of that. So there's a lot to like with him. Definitely still a lot that could be a detriment, right? Depending on how he's utilized on the field. His tackling form needs work. As much of a wrecking ball as he can be, he's another one of those guys that will sacrifice proper form tackling, which could still lay, plenty of big hits for that one that he thinks is going to shatter somebody's body. He's already undersized, even though he's physical, tends to slip off a lot of tackles. Coverage technique is going to need work. It doesn't necessarily matter if it's versus man. Doesn't really matter if it's versus zone. He's disciplined. He's smart. He does what he can. But this is a guy that definitely needs a lot more work in that aspect. And so you would imagine his time playing safety would have helped him and prepared for him a lot more. But at 212 pounds, when you're playing more so close to the line of scrimmage, it's just going to be tough for him to deal with a lot of these tight ends coming in, a lot of these bigger slot wide receivers, different things of that nature, that are going to have, easily 10, 15, 20 plus pounds on them, on top of them being physically, dominant as well from a physical standpoint. Read and reactability can be slightly below average, so this doesn't help things out, especially when he's in coverage. He's one of those guys that could get used and abused, and so you definitely want to put him in positions where more so he can just go out and try to attack the ball when he immediately is able to recognize what's happening. Strength is supposed to be a strong suit of his, but it can get undermined by his lack of technique. Technical refinement in all things, this is where that jack of all trades problem comes in. You can't really focus in and hone on what you need to do as a safety, proper alignment, footwork, backpedaling, etc. when you also have to come up and play linebacker and work on your pursuit angles and different things of that nature. So you see that creep up quite a bit. And then in general, for, again, as physical, as aggressive as he is, he has problems being able to go out there and diagnose run plays. So things have been on a little bit of an accelerated career plan with him being exposed to the 49ers for a year, which is excellent. We'll see if Robert Saleh can squeeze any more juice out of him, but it definitely seems like he will probably be lower on the totem pole just because there's a lot of guys ahead of him that Robert Saleh loves. Between CJ the vet, we know his time will be ending fairly soon. Quincy Williams, who brings a bunch of the explosive traits that you love and a lot of these problems in general that you see with these undersized guys, but you're able to live with. Chad Surratt, who he thinks is a starter, and if not for health, would probably be a key component on the defense at some point. Zaire Barnes is recent rookie who's balled out during the preseason, so there's a lot of competition there for him. We'll see what happens, but for a guy that's been able to make some impressions in San Francisco and now he's coming into this unit, feel strongly enough about it. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you again. Peace.